Welcome back. It's Homebrew and BBQ HQ. Today we are doing smoked reverse seared tri-tip sandwiches. They're gonna be amazing. Let's do it. Okay, so first off for the tri-tip, we've got about a 3-pound untrimmed tri-tip here. So we're gonna need to trim off a little bit of this fat. I wanna leave most of the fat cap on the bottom just because we're gonna be smoking it. That way it kind of helps retain some of that moisture. So we'll just get any excess fat that's not on, or that we don't need here. All right, looks like we are good to go. We got top all trimmed up, leaving that fat cap on, just, about a 1/4 inch on that back side. This thing's gonna come out amazing. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna rub it. So for the rub, we have 3 tablespoons, throw this over here. We got 3 tablespoons of paprika. We have a tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of celery seed, and a 1/2 tablespoon of cumin. And normally with tri-tip, what I usually like to do is add in some brown sugar or something like that. But we're gonna, for this, be making a Texas-style barbecue sauce that's gonna carry a ton of sweetness over into the sandwich. So we don't really necessarily need that with the meat. So I just want like a nice, nice rub on this that's gonna add ton of flavor, but not too much sweetness. All right, easy enough. So this goes on. And you want to apply a nice general coat or liberal coat of this on here. Pick up anything left on the board, no man left behind. All right, this looks amazing. I think we're ready for the grill. Let's get out there. Okay, so here we go. We got oak in the hopper. The way we're setting this up is I don't have the little diffuser panel in. I'm just letting I have the diffuser panel in, I have the little hatch that comes out off. So the fire is just gonna be straight over, but we're gonna place the tri-tip over on the end. That way it can smoke, but that way when it gets time to ramp this thing up, we're gonna reverse sear it. We can just crank it up, we don't have to worry about pulling that panel out. It's gonna be perfect. So Yoder set at 225, should take about an hour to get this thing up to 125 degrees. We're gonna pull it off, let it rest. Reverse sear it. We should get it about 130, 135, get a nice medium. It's gonna be awesome on these sandwiches here. So we'll see you guys in about an hour. Okay, so here we go. We're making that Texas style barbecue sauce that's gonna go on these sandwiches. This stuff, I'm telling you, is amazing. So let's get started with this. We got 3 tablespoons of butter going in. We've got 1/2 an onion chopped is gonna go in. We're gonna saute that in this butter along with 3 cloves of garlic. And that all just goes in. We're gonna saute this down. I diced these super fine, and the reason I did that is because I'm gonna leave this sauce chunky. I'm not gonna blend it. I like the texture that it gives off of that, and so let's do this. We're gonna saute this down now, just until the onion becomes a little translucent. Okay, I think we're looking good here. So, as with most of my sauces, there's just a ton of crap that gets thrown into it. So here we go. We got 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar goes in. We've got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. We're gonna go 2 tablespoons of paprika goes in. 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Now, the alternative to that is you could use one of those little 6-ounce cans of tomato paste. That also works really well. We've got a tablespoon of celery salt. And then a tablespoon of black pepper. Also, one of these little bouillon cubes is going in. And then one of the secret ingredients here is my tajin mustard, which I have the link. I'll put it below. This stuff is amazing as well. We're gonna throw 2 tablespoons of this in. And then some beer. And since we're using beer, we might as well use a beer that I brewed. Today we're using my Märzen, and it's basically an Oktoberfest. It's a darkish, malt forward beer. So, yeah, I love this thing. You can sit back and it's super sessionable. It's about 4.5%. You can just sit there and drink it all day long. Super malty. Gotta love it. So we're using a cup of this in this sauce as well. All right, we're just gonna give this a little stir here. Make sure that bouillon cube that's in there gets broken up. And then this is gonna be a thin sauce as of right now. We're gonna let it simmer here for about 30 minutes, thicken up. It's gonna be great on top of this sandwich. So, all right, we got the barbecue sauce bubbling away here, doing its thing. Steak's at about 100, almost there, about another 20 degrees. One of the last things that we have going on this sandwich is some sauteed onions and bell peppers. So we're just gonna throw a little bit of avocado oil here in a preheated skillet. And then we used half the onion for the sauce. I just used the other half, about yay big slices. And that's just gonna go in. We'll saute these down and make them nice and soft. It's gonna be so good on this sandwich. The other thing we're gonna do is add a little provolone. Once we get everything all ready to go, we're gonna throw it in the boiler, get it all nice and toasty. Yeah, can't wait. Total cook time on this, about 2 hours. We just hit 130 degrees. This thing's looking awesome, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna crank this thing up to 600 degrees. We're gonna sear it. It's gonna make it all that much better. While we're doing that, we're just gonna let this rest. So we're just gonna cover this in foil. All right, it's been about 10 minutes and we've got fire. We're at 600 degrees. We got the flames coming up through the grates. This is only gonna take like a minute or two per side. Just wanna get some good grill marks going on this. Like I said, about a minute per side. This is looking incredible. We got like this nice like bark going on it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into this thing. So let's do it. All right, here we go. We got inside, check this thing out. Moment of truth. Let's go right down the middle right here. As always with tri-tip, you want to cut it against the grain, or pretty much any meat, you want to cut against the grain. The funny thing about tri-tip is sometimes that grain can move on you, it can shift. This one, it looks like it's pretty much all going in the same direction, so we should be good here, but go like about right here like this. Oh, check that out. This looks so good. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So good. All right, let's get this onto this bread. So we're just gonna cut this super thin here. So for the bread, we've got an onion roll. Figure it's gotta be good, right? Onion, top all this awesome tri-tip here. So we're just gonna layer this on. First layer tri-tip in, then we're gonna go with those bell peppers and onions that we got. We got some provolone cheese here. That's going on. Do a little bit more tri-tip, just because we can. And then just a few more of those bell peppers on top, just why not? All right, now it's time. Let's get this thing in the broiler. All right, right before we throw it in here, I'm gonna spray this with just a little bit of avocado oil just to help it kind of crisp up. And that goes in. Fresh out of the broiler, let's get this thing onto a cutting board. The last step in this is gonna be that awesome Texas style barbecue sauce. You can see how much this is thickened up now. This is just gonna get drenched all over the top of this. The rest of the bread goes on. that doesn't make you hungry, I don't know what will. Check that thing out. You got all that awesome tri-tip, the provolone, the bell peppers and onions, that barbecue sauce, onion bun. I mean, come on. That is everything I expected and more. Oh gosh, the barbecue sauce is the real key to this. It's sweet. It's got a nice little heat to it from the cayenne. I'm gonna finish pounding this thing. Guys, we're Homebrew and BBQ HQ. Please don't forget to subscribe. We will see you guys next time. Cheers.